Hello, I'm the Story Lady, and today I'd like to tell you another story of mine, and this one is called Clare and the Apple Tree Fairy. Clare lived with her mum and dad in a big old house, and behind this big old house there was a huge garden. They were very lucky to have this huge garden, because in it they were able to grow every flower you could possibly imagine. And in the spring and the summer, when all the flowers would come out, the colours and the smells were one of the most beautiful things Clare had ever seen. Everywhere she looked there was colour. Yellows and golds, reds and oranges, blues and purples, white, green. Oh, it was heavenly to the eyes. Also in that garden, there were lots and lots of different trees. There were cherry blossoms that in the spring the garden would be covered in their petals of pink and white. There were huge oak trees, twice as big as her dad. There were beautiful red Japanese maple trees that were stunning to look at all year round. But Clare's favourite trees she called her trees. They could be found at the bottom of the garden, hidden in a little corner. These were 2 apple trees. From a very early age, Clare had decided that these were going to be her trees. Mummy and Daddy could look after the rest. I will look after these. And sure enough, she did. Over many years she tended those 2 little trees, and they grew, and they produced beautiful apples. One tree produced green apples, and the other tree produced red apples. Clare would go out in her wellies as often as she could, and she would sit and she would talk to her trees. She would look after her trees. She even put a bit of pongy manure on her trees, because Daddy said it helped things grow. It didn't smell very nice, but if it helped her trees, then she'd do it. And fair enough, Clare did, year after year. Every autumn she would go and collect her apples. Her apples, mind, nobody else's. She would share them with Mummy and Daddy, of course, but only if they made apple pies, or apple sauce, or apple tarts, or even a type of apple jam, which she really, really liked. Clare decided what happened to her apples. Nobody else. One day, Clare got up nice and early, because she knew today was the day that she was going to pick a big bowl of her apples. Today was the day she would allow her mummy to make 2 apple pies. So she got up, she got dressed, and even before she had any breakfast, which was a bit naughty, she grabbed a big bowl and she ran down to the bottom of the garden to pick her apples. But as she got closer, she stopped and stared. She couldn't believe her eyes. You know why? You guessed it. On one of the lower branches of one of her trees, mind, there was sitting a little fairy. And you know what she was doing? She was eating one of Clare's apples. Clare could plainly see 4 little tiny bites out of one apple. She was not happy at all. "How dare you touch my apples?" she cried. The fairy was so shocked she almost fell off the branch. She dropped the apple in question. And she was so shocked. "Oh!" she burped. "Oh! Excuse me," said the fairy. "Oh, hello, Clare. It's about time we met." But Clare was very, very cross. "Who said you could eat my apples? You didn't ask my permission to eat my apples." "Well, no, you're right, I didn't," said the fairy. "But I didn't think you'd mind too much. I mean, I'm only going to eat one, and that's going to fill me up for the whole day, with my tiny tummy." "I think you're an apple tree thief," said Clare. And you know what Clare did? A very wicked thing. She took a hold of the branch, and she twanged it. Twang, wang, 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 went the branch. And poor fairy went twang, wang, 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 wang. Up and down she flew, as she clung on tightly to the branch so she wouldn't fall off. "What do you think about that then?" said Clare. "That's what I do to apple thieves." Once the branch finally stopped twanging around, the fairy flew up into the sky. "That was a very wicked thing to do to me," said the fairy. "You watch yourself, Clare. Bad manners are not acceptable." And the fairy disappeared. Clare was feeling just a little bit frightened. She knew she shouldn't have done that. That was a naughty thing to do. Perhaps she shouldn't have shouted at a fairy. Well, she was pinching one of my fairies, thought Clare. She deserved what she got. Maybe. Well, I haven't got time to think about this now. I am going to take my apples and get some apple pies made. So she quickly picked as many apples as would fill her little bowl, and she ran back to the house. "Mum!" she cried. "I've got those apples. Can we make the apple pies now?" Her mum was in the kitchen. "Yes, okay, why not? Let's make them now. Let's have a look at the apples." Clare gave her the bowl of her apples. "Oh, Clare," said her mum, "we can't use these. They're all bad and yucky." Sure enough, when Clare looked down into the bowl, she was very surprised to see a bowl full of mouldy, old, yucky apples. "Throw them away, Clare," said her mum. "Go and get me some proper ones." "Oh, but they were nice and juicy before," said Clare. "Well, they're not now," said her mum. "Go on, while I make the pastry." Clare was feeling a little bit confused, but she went out and she threw the apples onto the grass. As soon as the apples touched the grass, they turned back into beautiful, juicy, green and red apples. "What's going on?" said Clare. She bent down and picked one of the apples. As soon as she picked it up, she threw it away. It became mouldy, yuck, and squidgy, maggoty. Ew. But as soon as she threw it away, soon as it touched the grass, it turned back into a beautiful, juicy apple. "Oh no," says Clare. "This is the fairy's doing. Oh, I'd better go and find her." So off she ran back to the trees. "Fairy!" she cried. "Oh, please, fairy, please come back and talk to me. I'm very, very sorry." Finally, after a lot of calling, Clare found the little fairy sitting on one of the tree's branches. This time, Clare curtsied politely and said, "Hello, little fairy. I'm very, very sorry for what I did. Would you like to share my apples? Mummy's going to make some apple pie today. Would you like me to make you one? You said you were hungry." The fairy looked at Clare. "Are you truly sorry for what you did to me?" Yes, I really, really am. I'll never, ever do it again. It was wicked of me, and I am sorry. I suppose I should learn to share my apples." "All right then. If you're truly sorry, the apples will be just fine. But if you're not, they will stay mouldy. Off you go then." Clare curtsied politely, thanked the fairy, and ran back to the apples that she'd left on the lawn. They all looked perfect. So she slowly bent and picked one up. It stayed perfect. Oh, maybe, just maybe. She put it into her bowl. She picked another, and she picked another. And sure enough, they all stayed beautiful, juicy, green and red apples. Quickly she filled her bowl again, and she ran back to the kitchen. "Look, Mum, look! I've got perfect apples for you. For us to make. And I promise I'll share them with you and Daddy. And I won't be nasty about my apples again." Mum smiled. "I'm very pleased to hear that, Clare. Let's make some apple pies." And they did. Clare made a small one, just for the fairy. And when it had finished, and it had cooled down, Clare took the apple pie to the fairy. "Here you are, fairy. I made you one specially for you." The fairy smiled. "That looks delicious. Would you like to share it with me?" And so, together, Clare and the apple tree fairy sat down, and they both agreed that it was the most delicious, juicy apple pie they'd ever tasted.